Welcome back to Ghoster Coasters, and today we're going to explore the future of Zamperla's roller coaster division, and of course their future within the Cedar Fair Six Flags chain going forward. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join the spooky community today. We're racing towards 3,000 subscribers, and hey, maybe we'll hit 4,000 subscribers before they get Top Thrill 2 up and running again. A huge shout out goes out to all of our channel members and producers for helping bring this content and being a part of the best community out there. Now, on to Zamperla.
Taking on the challenge of Top Thrill 2 reimagining was a big risk for Zamperla from the start. Working with the old Intamin track and ensuring new track added on would work with the old track was the start. Then they had to produce a new train because the last ones, well, yeah, that was an issue. And who would have thought a few months later, the lightning trains would be the cause of the extended closure for Zamperla as well. So what really went wrong here?
There's a lot of things that could have gone wrong with this ride. And of course, working at heights of 420 feet with a launch coaster on a peninsula all near Lake Erie, well, yeah, there's challenges to begin with. They had a lot of time to test the trains prior to the opening of Top Thrill 2, since December of 2023 actually. Besides that, they really didn't have any real-world testing data on any open coasters, so they then took the chance at one of the tallest and fastest roller coasters ever for the debut of these trains. It just seems like from the beginning it was an oversight, but they did have a ton of time beforehand, so maybe that's why. They need to find out what the speed top out is for these trains. They seem to work to a certain point, but without all these real-world tests, they may have miscalculated that speed with Top Thrill 2.
But enough about what may have gone wrong. Let's get into the next few months and years for Zamperla. Now, Thunderbolt is doing well, and again, this is a coaster under 100 feet here and seems to be doing just fine. So, before everyone piles on Zamperla, they took a huge risk and yet failed. But they didn't fail taking the smaller steps in the coaster world, which is arguably what they should have been doing in the first place here. Cedar Point signed the contract with them, and that's probably on them for not letting Zamperla grow into a more successful roller coaster division and building their portfolio with bigger rides before taking on Top Thrill 2.
As far as Top Thrill 2 goes, and those lightning trains that were advertised to withstand speeds faster than Top Thrill 2, we're pretty sure they're going to have to go back and redesign those once they hit a certain speed. Focusing on the reliability aspect of the trains while maintaining the ease of maintenance is probably going to be key for Zamperla over the next few months.
The most important feature of the lightning train is the aluminum milled chassis. It's critical for a few reasons. First, the train weighs less than almost any other one on the market. Secondly, we've virtually eliminated welds on the chassis. This is a game changer for maintenance. When you look at annual NDT costs, that's non-destructive testing. This aluminum milled chassis means that our clients spend less time and money taking care of their ride on an annual basis than our traditional coasters and the competitions. We're excited for all of our clients and even our competitors to look under the hood and see why Zamperla is creating the best roller coasters in the company's history.
And the chassis designs might change too. Maybe not. This is just speculation for the trains issue. A lot of work could be done for these modifications, or it could simply be the wheel bogies and they weren't able to finish them in time for the season. But it seems like the trains after a certain speed will need to be refitted with the new parts, or redesigned entirely.
We're still kind of certain these trains can maintain on the smaller rides though, with Thunderbolt having a good run so far. So that leads us into the next area, beyond Top Thrill 2. The focus on Zamperla may be on smaller scale roller coasters going forward to help build their portfolio. Showcasing that they have a reliable portfolio can help build trust towards bigger projects in the future, and restore faith that some of these issues are just one-off issues on the coasters. They may also choose to focus on smaller scale rides in general, like their flats that they offer, usually coming in batches at parks and being successful for them. One can imagine they'll push that going forward as well. Obviously, we all saw the post going around about a quality control position at Zamperla a few months back too, so we can expect the quality control on designs to be more closely monitored and hopefully successful in the future.
Now, with Cedar Fair Six Flags and the relationships that they supposedly don't work with people thing and Zamperla's next thing, while we don't see any big coasters coming soon for the obvious reasons, even Wild Mouse had some issues we can't not address briefly. But the risk with the small scale rides like flat packages just isn't there, and the company may opt to use Zamperla in the revamping of lands and adding flats ways they've been doing the past few years. It makes sense to scale back, rebuild a bit of trust, build the portfolio of smaller coasters away from the Six Flags Cedar Fair chain, and try to come back in a few years when they get the situation solved and reliability is up with a proven track record.
Which leads us to the last part, the reevaluation process. In 2025, Top Thrill 2 will be under a microscope for management, Zamperla, and thrill seekers alike as we all wait to see just how reliable the ride is. or the unfateful what if it doesn't work again and we're faced with more downtime or worse. That's doubtful, but the ride has to do well next season, which if it does, that opens the door right back up for Zamperla. But if it's not successful, it probably slams the door closed even longer. It's really all up to the reliability of Top Thrill 2, and in 5 years we may all laugh and it may be super reliable for 4 of its 5 years it operated so far.
But that's the future, and we can't get too far ahead of ourselves, and neither can Zamperla, which leads us to believe they'll be doing smaller scale projects for a little while. The reality is, Zamperla is probably in a position where they really want to get Top Thrill 2 up and showcase its reliability and make a statement. After the failure to launch this year, they can't really afford to let this ride fail again next season after all of this downtime. It feels all too surreal to see the ride sitting and not operating again, after all the hard work that went into reopening the ride in the first place, and it's super unfortunate for Zamperla, Cedar Point, and all of us guests alike.
What do you think the future of Zamperla is? Let us know down in the comments below. We're sure there's going to be lots of answers to this and different responses, but let's think a few years down the line with it here. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join the spooky community today. A huge shout out goes out to all of our channel members as well. Spooky season is coming, so if you guys like Halloween, haunted things, anything spooky, definitely subscribe today. We got it all September and October every single week for you, so stay tuned for that.
As always, thank you for being a part of our spooky community and for Coaster Ghostin' with Ghoster Coasters.